adventurers in the forest had slowly begun to reclaim the area. Rumors had it that the witch had been one of the most powerful witches in the land, but her powers had been too great for her own good. People said that she had gone mad and her spells had turned on her, leaving her alone and powerless in the hut. After that, no one had ever seen her again. Despite the rumors, there were still those who dared to venture into the forest to explore the abandoned hut. They told tales of eerie noises, strange smells, and unexplained occurrences. Some even said that they had seen the witch's ghost wandering through the woods, searching for something she had lost. One day, a group of adventurers set out to find the witch's hut. They were determined to uncover the secrets of the abandoned dwelling and perhaps even find the witch's lost treasure. The forest was thick and dark, and it was difficult to navigate through the overgrown bushes and tangled vines. But after several hours of walking, they finally stumbled upon the clearing where the hut stood. The hut was just as they had heard, old, decrepit, and abandoned. They cautiously approached the hut, expecting to find it empty, but to their surprise, they heard a low chanting coming from inside. They hesitated for a moment before peeking through the cracks of the wooden walls. There, in the center of the room, was an old woman, withered and haggard, wearing a tattered black cloak. She was surrounded by books and strange objects, and her eyes were closed as she chanted. The group watched in horror as the old woman's chanting grew louder and more intense. Suddenly, the chanting stopped and the old woman opened her eyes. She looked straight at the adventurers, and for a moment they were frozen in fear. But then the old woman smiled, and to their surprise, she welcomed them into her home. She explained that she was indeed a powerful witch, but she had grown tired of the world and had retreated to her hut to live out the rest of her days in peace. She had been waiting for someone to come and take her place as the guardian of the forest, and now she had found them. The group was skeptical at first, but as they spent time with the old woman, they realized that she was kind and wise. She taught them about the magic of the forest and how to use it for good. They eventually decided to stay and learn from her, becoming the new guardians of the forest and the old witch's hut. And so the witch's hut was no longer abandoned. It became a place of learning and discovery, where those who sought the magic of the forest could come and find it. The old woman's legacy lived on, and the forest remained a place of wonder and mystery for generations to come. And with that, the story of the abandoned witch's hut in the dark forest came to a close. The new guardians continued to live in the hut, learning the ways of the forest and the magic it held. They became known throughout the land as protectors of the forest, and their reputation grew as more and more people came to seek their guidance. The old woman's legacy lived on, and the hut remained a place of wonder and mystery, even though it was no longer abandoned. The forest continued to thrive, and the animals and plants within it flourished under the guardians' care. As the years went by, the guardians grew old, passing on their knowledge to the next generation. And so, the cycle continued, with each new generation of guardians taking up the mantle and ensuring that the witch's hut in the forest remained a place of magic and wonder for all who sought it.